Why does it feel like Farina just took over? Also, even though she's still acting—
All right, then.
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that... Also, please allow me to... Just how much...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the task.
Navia, the press...
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes. The people's resent, moreover, according...
So you...
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian history.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're well...
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, you gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion... Also that as soon as...
Yes, that is...
Well, Clorand, As for you, you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage. Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte...
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Charlotte! Oh, let Paimon see. Isn't this the exclusive interview that Wait, then that means this document... So in other words, we can refer to this... Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. I didn't think this... The words of some...
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Just fast forward, of course. It is only now.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey,
I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking our duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Archon.
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah,
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon, and see, even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. If you wish to
An argument with near impossible odds, huh?
Well, I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was not the Archon,
That doesn't sound... First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived...
who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse. But in light of this
You sensed it too, huh, Nervlet?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Well...
Well, don't start celebrating too early. Besides, for centuries, one need only to turn their eyes...
That doesn't sound right. Paimon You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared child to be...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for...
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder while the court is in... You will prove your... That was no...
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having...
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict that day. But the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. You can't argue that just because...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
If that poses a concern...
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives. Have you ever...
Isn't that...
Yeah, no matter how generous...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. I'm still the same, please.
If what the prosecutor said is true...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too?
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can—
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. That doesn't sound... that doesn't... It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water.
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll... Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area not long ago. Including the... So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of the seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would... But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, I do hope you'll act prudently.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably fond.
Lady Farina, this...
Well, of course he had to tell her that.
She's just staring at the...
What's going on? Is she really playing?
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Hey! I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon!
Miss Siegewin, if you're...
Siegewin?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater.
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendants.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved!
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, however, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an We don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked... It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually...
I can't believe... Listen to me, everyone! Think about it! How can you conclusively prove... Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me! I swear, I really am your
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think they're...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cot. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique.
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice.
Isn't that correct?
However, the exact word to be punished via the death.
That's actually one of the
one and only time.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for the...
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was all but now.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that the first prophecy? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other...
Huh? So what do you see?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? So when you say...
In truth, however, I'm uncertain...
Okay,